Now back to Outdoors with Larry Ray on ESPN 790 AM. Brought to you proudly by the Tennessee Wildlife Resource Agency, Gaston's White River Resort, Sportsman's Warehouse, and Barton Power Sports.
Hey, good Saturday morning. We're closing out this show. If you just now joining us, shame on you. We've had lots of fun today. Did it without Gene Smith. Sorry, Gene, that you couldn't be with us. Prior engagement. But Guy Trebo's been over there, our LR Outdoor webmaster. If you haven't gone to lroutdoors.com, get on there. I mean, if you want to listen to previous shows, you want to see the picture of that 18-pound, 8-ounce rainbow trout allegedly caught in the farm pond. I shouldn't have said allegedly. Caught in a farm pond that must have swift water and plenty of chumming allowed. So, and then now Dave Gabbard, that was him laughing, as you can only tell. But we're going to talk a little bit now because this is the final segment. This is the 4th of July weekend.
Big boating weekend.
Big boating weekend. A lot of tubing. A lot of things going on.
We used to say Memorial Day was the biggest boating weekend, but I think now that the 4th, it pushes it right up there with it.
Well, let's ask the man who has to keep up with a lot of this stuff in Region 1, law enforcement supervisor, Brian Thompson. Major Brian Thompson. Was that on his birth certificate? Is that his first name?
How are y'all this morning?
Hey, Brian. All right. This, in your opinion, which is this really the big weekend, or July, or is it Labor Day?
I think the 4th of July is a little bit bigger than Memorial Weekend.
Okay.
The weather is hot.
Okay.
You know, and Memorial Weekend's always just his break in there. We may go because it still could be a little cool, that type of thing, whatever. But I think people's been in full swing. They've been going to the lake, and weather's hot. I think 4th of July, like Dave said, is the bigger weekend.
So here comes the traffic. You know, and there's no traffic cop out there on Pickwick directing traffic when 8 houseboats or pontoons come at each other.
Yeah.
You know, this is the time that you got to, as Dave will say.
Not only, Brian, that there's a lot of traffic on during the day, but this is the one weekend that
they're out
see
at
night.
Yeah. Monday night will be really, but you also, like Dave said, last night there was people, the officers was out, and they see a little bit more activity on the waters, at night. They said it was started picking up yesterday pretty good. So today we're figuring today's going to be big. Tomorrow, Sunday, people will be out and about, and then Monday afternoon they're going to be out there again because fireworks shows on the waters, different places. It's hot all weekend, even though they're going to be tired. They're going to be out there because it's hot.
And July 4th hits on a Monday, so you got the long weekend.
Mm-hmm.
And so what do you guys – I know we have a lot of BUIs and things along this line. What are the things that you guys stress out there that folks to be careful this weekend?
Well, one of the main things we always, if you are going to be out there with alcohol on the water, make sure you got a designated driver.
Yeah.
Okay? Mm-hmm. Designated driver. Also, remember these kids, anybody under the age of 13, the boat's underway, drifting or whatever, the boat, they've got to have a life jacket on. And we encourage everybody to wear life jackets.
Yeah.
If you have a boat wreck, I don't care if you're the greatest swimmer in the world, if you get knocked unconscious,
yes,
you can't swim. So we encourage everybody to wear a life jacket. All our officers out there, they have life jackets on because it's our policy that you have to wear your life jacket when you're in a boat. Any agency employee. It floats, you don't.
It floats, you don't. And
those are going to be out for fireworks at night. Make sure they got their lights. You got to have your running lights on, your white lights, your stern light, and your bow lights. And a lot of these people that just because they've got all these white lights, these around the boat, that's actually not legal to be riding around using those lights because it inhibits everybody else being able to see. You're out there on the lake and all you see this big glob of white, man, it just messes up your vision and everything. So.
Well, I didn't think about that.
No.
Yeah, those kind of things. And I assume you guys will be in force, so to speak. That's
yes.
no pun intended again. But
We will. We will be as we are. We work the weekends anyway and work the days, but the holidays, because it does bring more people out. People will come and they'll rent a pontoon boat that they've never had a boat before. But it just brings people out because it is a holiday. It brings more people to the water. Friends go and visit other friends. Let's go watch the fireworks from the boat. Make sure they've got enough life jackets. If you're picking up 10 people to get on your pontoon boat, make sure you got life jackets for everybody, that proper size and fit. It's just the common sense stuff that sometimes even though alcohol may not be involved, sometimes we forget common sense.
And speed limits. You guys don't have radar, but I think you ought to sometimes. I see people that, you got the no wake load, and you got a brand new boat. Somebody's come out there. I'm going to see how fast this baby will go, buddy.
Well, know the occupancy of your boat. Just because you can cram 20 people on your boat doesn't mean it's legal to do that.
No, this is
exactly
not
right.
This is not refugees coming up from Syria. I mean, full of boats. But sometimes I've seen boats that actually I think they got too many on there because every boat has a designated load limit.
There you go. They got recommended occupancy limit. That's correct.
And you do see that? I mean, you'll see that maybe this too. That's one of the things you guys are really. People look and say, "Oh, there comes the TWRA." Everybody clamp down, but you guys are out there for protection more than you are inspections and things along these lines.
We want you to go home from having a good weekend. That's what, ultimately that's what we want. We want everybody, because listen, game wardens don't like paperwork. If you get out there and you have a boat wreck, or if we end up having to rescue you for being boating under influence, that gives them paperwork.
That's right. Yeah.
And they don't like paperwork. They don't mind doing it if they have to, but they'd rather not.
Well, again,
that's what we're out there for, is make sure it's a good, safe weekend. People have a good time. We're out there working, and a lot of people think, man, you're on the lake, you're getting to work, man, all that kind of stuff. Well, sometimes when you're doing things and it's working, it's not quite as fun as it is when you're playing. Not that we don't enjoy being out there on the lake, but, we're in a little different situation, being able to jump in the water whenever you want to. But it's all about having a safe weekend and everybody going home.
And we're not just talking about boats here. Vessels are, we got the Sea-Doos or whatever, we got those. We have these
canoes, kayaks,
kayaks,
these stand-on top, these what do you call those boards that paddle boards. Remember people out there on paddle boards got to have a life jacket on board that paddle board.
And you can't be out there after dark on a paddle board.
Now, who's going to be out there after dark on a paddle board?
You'd be surprised.
Well, you'd be surprised.
Really?
That's exactly right.
Oh, man. All right.
You'd be surprised.
Talking to Brian Thompson, Major Brian Thompson, as we go on this July 4th holiday weekend.
And I've got to add one, looking at the different studies they do on the effects of alcohol, but a lot of people don't realize when you're out there on the lake and you're out there in the sun and the wave action and rocking in that boat and just the glare and stuff, that if you have one beer, you combined all that, it's like having four. It almost triples the effect.
Because of the wave action and
everything. All the weather conditions that you absorb out there.
So if you take a 6-pack out there, you're actually taking 24.
Just about.
Yeah, that's how it affects your reaction time.
Wow. Okay.
That's like me when I get home working on the lake all day, get in there and get me a good hot shower. I can feel a shower rocking.
Oh yeah.
That's
why I take Dramamines before each show we do here. Because it seems like, hey, Brian, thank you, buddy. Have a safe one.
Thanks for having me, guys. Let's everybody have a good, safe rest of the weekend.
All right, buddy. Thank you, buddy. We'll talk to you. All right.
All right. Have a good day.
Right,
See y'all.
Brian Thompson. And this is the big weekend for the.
And before we go off there, here, I know we're getting close.
I want you to talk a little bit about
I got to wish my mama a happy birthday.
Well,
4th of July coming up. Mama's a 4th of July baby.
And she's Miss. What's your mom's name?
Mildred.
Miss Mildred will be how many?
About 93.
Oh, let's don't say about. All right. Let's wish my wife a happy birthday.
Yeah, we missed her.
Yeah, her birthday was Wednesday, and I won't tell how old she was, but I can't believe I'm married to a woman that old. That's as far as I'll say
I'll
on
remind
that.
her that at breakfast.
Did you hear that? I just dropped my dishes here. So, hey, next week we'll be back with Ron Wong. Will be well-traveled, I'm sure, as we hit back in, talking fishing on next week's show. I'm talking July fishing. We'll have that. I'm trying to set up some guests and things like that. And I might try maybe on next week's show, we need to get a wrap-up of what happened last weekend, with the big shoot going on over there. So we might call Dave or Lance or something and find out exactly what.
Because I understand from Lance, we tried to, he must be out of pocket. We was trying to get him on the air this morning. It's kind of a wrap-up. But the West Tennessee teams did really, really well at the state.
Well, we need to talk about that. And I know
championship.
A lot of our folks. And all right, Guy Trebo, give us an update on the website. Flick that. We are operating under one Micheless notice here on the website. Looking good, right?
Yeah. We got everything up. We got a picture of that young man that caught the big trout on there.
You got to look at that picture.
We got the story and the picture in the news section, and of course we've got everything else
that's going on.
Everything else that's come in.
All the shows, and as long as we can look under Wong's, what is that up there for Ron Wong?
Wong's Report.
Wong's Report, and that will have all of Ron Wong's reports that we can get on there, and Guy is updating that thing continuously. It is the source for Mid-South news, outdoor news, is lroutdoors.com, because, and we need to get me in a cooler outfit, because someone said that I look old in that picture, and I don't think I look.
I disagree with that.
You disagree with that?
I think you look dapper.
Dapper is a good word for there. Dapper, I like that good word. But go in there and check it out. All the information. The news thing is really a lot of things that we keep up with on that.
You got the news, you got all the latest products, which is a lot of fun, too.
Yeah, all the latest products, which we're going to be giving and testing some of these things. And Dave Gabbert, thank you for being with us this morning. You don't have a microphone, but thank you for being with us. And, he just did a sign language. You shouldn't do that. All right, and then, of course, Guy Trebo, thank you for stopping by and everything. Greg Ratliff, thank you for surviving. And don't forget, first Saturday in August, it will be 15th anniversary show. And I'm working on that. Yeah, we're working on that. Yeah, we're going to get a lot of different talks about that on the. If you've got a special guest you'd like to talk to, go to lroutdoors.com and drop us an email message or whatever it might be. But anyway, I hope everybody has a great 4th of July weekend, a safe. And don't forget what this country's all about, and that's why we celebrate the 4th of July. This is Larry Ray reminding you I do each and every week that it doesn't cost an extra cent to be a good sport, and God bless the USA.
You can find out all about it on Outdoors with Larry.